Hello everyone, my name is Yosef Yan and today I will be telling you all about high data rate cables. I will first give background information about high data rate cables, then its relevance, then how it works, and finally how what I learned in ECE 303, a class about electromagnetic fields, relates to them. The image on the left is a picture of several optical fibers, which are frequently used in high data rate cables. All right, so first I'll be giving an overview on high data rate cables. High data rate cables are in the class of higher order transmission lines. Wave traveling along higher order transmission lines have at least one significant field component in the direction of propagation. Optical fibers, which belong in higher order transmission lines, are what makes up these cables. Optical fibers were introduced in the 1950s but weren't widely used until 1966 when it was used for telecommunications. Some examples of high data rate cables are HDMI cables and Ethernet cables. High data rate cables are important because they carry information from one point to another very fast. Optical fibers are commonly used in computer networking because of their ability to transmit data quickly. All right, so next thing I'll be talking about is how data rate cables work. High data rate cables rely largely on optical fibers to transmit signals from one point to another. Optical fibers are thin dielectric rods made of glass or transparent plastic that consists of a cylindrical fiber core surrounded by another cylinder with a lower index of refraction. This is called the cladding layer. The cladding layer is used to isolate the fiber when there is many of them packed close together. This is to avoid the leakage of light. On the outside of the cables is a buffer coating, which is a plastic coating that protects the fiber from damage. Light is guided through optical fibers through successive total internal reflections. Because the light is confined to traveling within the rod, the only loss in power is due to reflections at the sending and receiving ends of the fiber and absorption by the fiber material. This is because the fiber material is not a perfect dielectric. Through successive total internal reflections, light rays beamed into the fiber propagate for great distances with very little reduction in intensity. This is how data is transmitted. Lastly, I will be talking about how what I learned in this class relates to this topic. What I learned in ECE 303 relates to this topic because it is related to transmission lines. High data rate cables belong in the class of higher order transmission lines. The concept of transmission lines and how they encompass all structures and media that serve to transfer energy or information between 2 points is what enables high data rate cables to function. Optical fibers involve wave reflections, which is also a concept that we learned in ECE 303. The image to the right is a picture of an HDMI cable. In conclusion, high data rate cables are really important and are used extremely often today. Many wires that you see being used today are high data rate cables that use optical fibers. High data rate cables are a type of higher order transmission line. Light is guided through optical fibers by successive total internal reflection. Examples of these cables include HDMI and Ethernet cables. HDMI and Ethernet cables can be found almost everywhere in the United States. The image on the right is a picture of an Ethernet cable. These are my references. Thank you all so much for listening to my presentation. I really enjoyed communicating this technical topic to you all.